Hello and welcome back to part 2 of this nice little cottage that we are making with toolmod and debugs items. I hope you watched part 1 so you will know what I'm talking about, at least a little bit I hope. And I hope you will enjoy the rest of this little build video. So in this video I will mainly work on the front of the house, the windows in front of the house. The reason for that is what I do on this side of the house, I do exactly the same on the other sides of the houses. So it really doesn't matter which side of the house that I'm doing this on because it will be the same way on all of them. The good thing when I work around the window is that the logs are smaller, so I don't really need to go much down into the basement to lift the items up, because now the square on the ground is so small anyway, so it won't interrupt the Sims when she walks around. She won't even notice it. But of course I haven't done it with some of the logs because they are a medium size, you may say. I have scaled them up at least once. So this one I did take down into the basement. I clicked them onto the empty shell that I have down there, and I lifted them back up again so I can have them around the windows. But the tiniest one I don't really need to. I only rotate them to the side so I can just lift them normally up onto the wall itself. As I'm decorating around the windows, of course I also want to decorate a little bit above the windows, and I went into the wall decoration that we have from the game, and I got some really nice wall decoration, and I shrink them down and I place them onto the wall. I'm decided I also want to frame them in as well, so it looks like they are just decoration on the wall. And I'm really happy with how this turned out, and the tool mod really makes it easy to try and decorate your builds because you get the details more showing, and I'm very happy with the use of the mod. And I've been trying to do this earlier before we had a tool mod, and it just isn't the same because you don't really find logs are lying down the same way that you want to. We have planks, but they stand out a little bit too much, so we can't use them. But I'm so happy that we got the tool mod from twistedmexi. I mean, that's awesome. I'm so happy about it, and it just make it so much easier to decorate and create stuff and just have it look like a little bit more like the style that I'm looking for when I do build. And I'm one of those people that really enjoy medieval style, so this kind of helps me to bring out that style in builds. I've been trying to make this with CC before, but CC really isn't my thing because when you upload it you have to inform all the different mods that you are using and all the different CC, and of course I don't mind that, but that also makes it more harder for others to see what you have done because they also need to have these specific mods. Even though I think a lot of the CC creation is amazing, some of them are so good, and I really do wish that one day we can have all this in the Sims without it being marked as CC and that others can't get to it, because it's a lot of it is so pretty. So that's my main reason for not using CC, is because you can't just get it. But it's a really nice way for people that maybe do more less plays to have CC, because if you don't have all the packs, at least you can download the CC and you can still have a lot of different items that others don't have, and your sim can still just look like it's just like any other sim. And as you can see by now, I'm starting to decorate on the outside of the house. The outside of the house, I don't really use much of the tool mod, but I use, of course, debug's item as this rock fence. I think it's so gorgeous, and it kind of makes the build look like the part I'm trying to do, where you have this nice little front yard where you keep your herbs, and just shows that this is the entrance to the house. And I really enjoy hanging out in debug item because never really know what exactly to find. I still think there are probably tiny surprises that I haven't seen yet. And when we get new packs, my first go-to is of course the debug item, because they are usually the tiny ones that you don't really think about. Um, didn't show you this earlier, but I added this huge chimney because I thought it was so nice how tall it was. Because I've seen a lot of drawings, and the chimneys are super big. When you look at one paintings of medieval houses, the chimneys are usually really tall. So I decided to go for this chimney. I usually like the round one, or the one that looks more like they are being made up with rocks, but I think this one kinda really made the house look so much gorgeous. I wanted to add the feeling of a tiny farm cottage, so of course I add the lake behind the house so she can go fishing. And this is probably some of my favorite objects, so I just can't help but use them. And I haven't used them for a while because at one point I think I used it in every build that I did, and I thought kind of overkill that you always use that one item. So I've been trying to be more good at using different items as well. So I had a little break by the use of this little pond, but in this build it just had to go in. On the house itself, I tried to decorate with these tiny wooden. Uh, I'm not really sure what they are meant to be honest with you, but I'm not really sure what they are called, so I just say wooden thingy. But they work so well because when you add them around the house where all the logs have met, it looks like they have been knocked in there, so they keep the house up, so it doesn't just look like it all been placed on top of each other. So it looks like this is what keeps the log together, and it gave that tiny detail to the house that makes it makes it more feel like it's log or heavy planks that you have placed down, and you're trying to make it stay up there and not fall down depending on the weather and so on. um, and this really made it stand out. At least for me, it felt like it was standing out a little bit more. And then, of course, it's back into the front of the house. I want to look like this is where you sit down when you want to eat or you have your herbs. So I added small pots where they can have their herbs. And the space is pretty big, so if you can download it and you want to add more to it in the front yard, you can do that. I do decorate outside of the fence with the bushes and stuff like that, so inside it's still a lot of room. I decided at one point, should I or should I not add a barbecue? And I didn't add a barbecue, and when I think about it now, I wish at least I have added a little fireplace so they could have at least an area where they could barbecue a little bit, but too late for that now, but that happens sometimes. The sunflowers in these games are just so gorgeous, and I added them a lot around the house because I just felt they are so pretty and they just worked so well here. Because when I'm thinking about medieval times and stuff, they didn't really have the flower garden outside the house that I have seen many people have today. I mean, they would have gardens, but not just outside of the house in the same way that we do. So I thought it would be nice to just add sunflowers, just keep them around just to get a little bit of color, because everything at this point is kind of gray, especially the house itself. So I added those cute sunflowers just to give it a little bit sparkle to the gray brownish house that I have at the moment. The little outhouse that I added that you already see is made, it's done, is also one item that we got from Snowy Escape. And I decided this is gonna be where they keep their food, where they keep the hay balls, and it just works real well with the color of the house itself, so that's why I added that one in as well. So the rest of the video is me just decorating the outside, adding logs, huge logs and trees and a little bench and just doing the tiny details. Uh, I really enjoyed myself making this house, and I hope you got something out of watching it, and that my first attempt of trying to make a tutorial, well, part one was mainly the tutorial part, but I hope you got something out of it and that maybe it can help you build something with the tool mod or just enjoy yourself building at all. I really hope that we get even more medieval stuff. In this part, I'm not gonna lie, I really do wish that we had farms here now because it would be kind of great to have cows or something, a horse or something, just standing in a barn on the outside. That would be kind of cool, but yeah, we gotta take the good with the bad, I suppose. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there and say that this is it. Um, will I be making tutorials again? I I'm not really sure. I guess we'll just have to see. It depends on what I want to do. Now it's back to Christmas building. This was a really nice break from the Christmas building, so now I'm gonna dive back into that part. I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.